guy Ryan, Eat
Uh,
Famous. What's going on, bro?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, thank you, man. It's like a long overdue convo. Low
Yeah,
key, yeah. Could have been in person, but this will have to do. But yeah, just give everybody for those who don't know you, for those who haven't checked you out yet, just tell them what's going on with your brand right now, with you personally, and then we'll start the convo from there.
cool. So the trouble with like following an authentic, just cool, laid back artist like Stacy is like the business nerd in me comes out because I've got slides. So
Pretty
I
cool.
apologize in advance for that. But and they actually jump into kind of like they start with even my informal introduction is a little formal. But can I share my screen? Can I do that?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Go
Yeah.
for it. Yeah, no problem, man.
Cool. All right.
Just tell me if you see the controls and everything.
Yeah, I
What are
see
you
it.
drinking? What are you drinking over there, Ryan?
Mount Gay rum.
All right, all right,
Mount
all
Gay
right.
rum,
Who's
straight from
that? Who's
Barbados.
that?
That's where my
Who's that?
folks are from. So, um, yeah. Shout out Corwin. So everyone can see my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thumbs up. Okay, cool. So who am I? My name is Ryan Hinkson. I run an Instagram account called Eat Famous. It has been regarded as probably one of the most popular destinations for food on Instagram. Just north of a quarter of a million followers, 276 to be exact. See that business nerd again. And basically, what I do is I work with restaurants and brands on creating content and managing social media for them. So who pays me? Because it is a job. So brands like Warritos, Google, American Express. I've had a long time relationship with Amex, where I've rolled out dozens and dozens of pieces of content for them, whether it's things that I share on my account or content for them to share on their social channels. They've been a great partner. It's been kind of a blessing to be able to transition from not just working with smaller restaurants, which I love, but bigger brands. Because to quote Jay, we overcharge them for what they did to to the cold crush. So like having corporate partners kind of allows you to relax a little when you're working with people who might need a hand, who may not have the budget to do so with you as well. But again, to it's something that's really really fun when you get to partner with people who have kind of influenced your buying decisions throughout your life. So like I said, brands like Warritos, Google, I've worked with Sam Adams, I've created content for Hershey's Canada, and McDonald's, who I've worked with for years. My account is Eat Famous. I remember this was a kind of a point of contention when McDonald's reached out. I don't generally pitch brands. I don't really have the time to. A lot of times there are brands and people who I feel like would be an incredible fit to work with, but a lot of times I kind of like to have people kind of come to me or things develop organically. And with McDonald's, they were probably the only brand I kind of courted just through being able to go to some of their corporate events and meet some people on their team and the PR company that handles business with them. But then I remember when we were about to strike up a deal, I was thinking, oh wow, like if you've seen my account Eat Famous, it focuses generally on independent, smaller restaurants and very indulgent things. Sometimes people would feel like it's the opposite of a McDonald's, but
Mhm.
even when I work with larger corporate partners, they have to be ones that either reflect my values or I can honestly speak to, um, you know, using them or having been a customer or a fan prior, because that's the only way it's going to work. I've eaten more McDonald's in my life than I care to admit, so it's a fit. So a lot of times people would see what I do on Eat Famous and think, hey, how do you work with a brand who first of all has like a lot of very structural rigid rules and maybe not the profile that you do, but I love it because it provides a challenge. And also I try to find a place where I can kind of take their messaging and inject a little bit of what I do. um, a dream collaboration is what I got to do with the Toronto Raptors. Shout out to I guess the reigning champs, because balls
Yeah, third time.
canceled for right now. Playoffs would have started, so I'm a little hurt by that. But yeah, I've gotten to work with the Raptors, and it was really really dope. Because if you know me personally, I'm at like a ton of games. I'm always watching, and again, just it's great to be able to partner with people who you've been fans of. So that's really, really, really dope. So when Ali and Kareem had spoken to me about what I was going to talk about today, I was kind of thinking I don't want to just like do the normal, oh, this is what I do, da 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 da, ABC. So I was trying to think about something interesting. And then last week on the Tech Effect, you guys had someone who really, really spoke to the ins and outs of working social. So I tried to kind of move a little bit over and figure out something else. So my kind of spiel is it goes down in the DM. So I get a lot of direct messages from people, and a lot of times the same questions tend to repeat themselves. So I thought today I would focus on the top 2 questions that I get asked via DM on Eat Famous. So the number 1 question in my DM is not what my favorite restaurant is. It's not what my favorite food. It's not if I get paid. It's not Popeyes versus Chick-fil-A. It's not can you come to my restaurant. It's not unfortunately are you single. But what it is how are you not 500 pounds? But we'll touch that. We'll touch that later. So we'll go forward to the second most popular question on that I get via DM, and it's how did you get Eat Famous to be so big? So again, like I said, I has a very large, I would say, for a Toronto-based account following that I'm very proud of. It was all
How
built.
and just like how old is the account? So like when did you
Oh,
start?
the
Like how many
account's
years?
probably like 7 years old,
Mhm.
but that's like dog years. So I'm like super old. Like for Instagram, because when I first started, companies weren't partnering with creators. We probably weren't even referred to as creators in the sense of what we were doing on Instagram. Uh, Sponsored posts, none of that was a thing. Video wasn't there, stories weren't there. So definitely like an OG. And I think I also was able to grow at a time when it was easier to grow authentically.
Mhm.
So although a lot of hard work goes in, I think timing was big for me too. And I mean, I do get asked that a lot, and there's not really like a magic answer. Um, I've had the great fortune to do some television, have some articles and things written about me, a pretty solid public profile, and a lot of times people want to know, like in 2 or 3 minutes, how do you do it? How do you get there? And at first you think, oh well, it's a very difficult answer, but I do hold on to like 2 key principles, and what they're asking basically is like how to grow. So more followers, likes, follows, engagement. I'm cheating a little bit here because these screenshots are from, probably more than like a year or two ago before the algorithm switched when likes and engagement were a lot higher. So you're seeing things like 9,000 likes. Like that doesn't happen too often anymore. But it's still what people want because although things have changed and they may have slowed in terms of engagement, it slows for us all. So it's not like I've fallen off and everybody else is killing it or vice versa, right? So people still want to know, even if you're getting 2,000 or 5,000 at a max, people still want to know how to get there. I have 2 main not so secret secrets, and they're very, very different from one another because one deals with like tangibles and the other is more of method and spirit. So the first is sky high quality content, sorry. And the second is genuine engagement and interaction. I know there's a lot of engagement and a lot of interaction on Instagram, but a genuine is a word I stress. I should have bolded and capitalized all the letters in genuine because there's a huge difference. And I'm not talking about simple things like, bots or auto liking, which that stuff is terrible. But I mean, even beyond that, like really forging relationships and having honest conversation with people. So again, we'll start with the content side of it. So by sky high quality content, there's a couple of things I mean, and not just a great photo or a great video, but you should have your own type of checklist developed. So I'm talking about taking the time to curate your own unique style of content. A lot of times people will hit me up and be like, hey, can you follow me or can you like this? And I look at the images and um, they could be good or they could not be so good. But a lot of times it's really, really striking when you can tell that there's no effort. I've never even shot with a professional camera in my life. I have no training in photography, so I'm not approaching this as, some top level professional, but what I do put in is like time. And we live in a world where there's access to so much information that there's not really an excuse not to do the best that you can. So
So
my,
are you?
personally, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, I just want to jump in, but are you talking about like time in terms of finding out like some of those photography angles and things like that, or are you talking
Yeah, yeah,
about
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like
Seeing what works.
the
Yeah, that's
curation of ideas and stuff?
I would say both. I mean, if I yesterday I was doing no Sunday, sorry, I was doing some editing for a client that unfortunately kind of had to halt their opening because of COVID, but they're planning to switch it up and do some delivery. And I edited like 700 photos. That day I ate 12 things, right? So multiple, almost 100 photos of everything. So, and after a while, you know, it gets boring looking at that one taco a ton of times. So, but I have to put in the time to get the results that, you know, I'm looking for, that clients would look for. So one of my check marks is I would never post anything that I would not like on someone else's account. So picture yourself scrolling, right? I know liking is very easy, but I think some of us are still pretty discerning with what we like and if we're going to engage with anything. So I'm not going to look at something I'm thinking about posting and have it be something that I wouldn't like on somebody else's account. And then my aim to heighten something like that is further, because liking is easy. I want to produce stuff that if I saw it elsewhere, I'm saving that, or I'm like thinking, how did they do that? Or I'm sending it to friends. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to be able to create or evoke emotion. Like I said down here at the bottom, like there's no coincidence that the like symbol is a heart, because really, I mean, although it's easy to kind of like we we're reacting to things that catch us for some reason or another. And then lastly, I would say like being a pro has as much to do with attitude and approach as it does with technique and credentials. Because like I shoot off of a phone. I've always shot off of a phone. I'm a little intimidated by, you know, a DSLR or mirrorless camera. Never taken lessons or anything like that, but my attitude, whether it's, you know, responding to clients, if you know, you're going to be late to an event, even if there's going to be 500 people, if you have a relationship with, say, the PR company that reached out to you, like shoot that email over. So all of these things help in creation of high quality content to me. So again, a quick.
Yeah. So sorry, I just want to cut you off because there's a couple of questions,
Okay,
and I want to just jump to that
cool.
right now. So Corin had asked, is there a dream project that you haven't fulfilled yet? And
Um,
and what is that project?
you know what's funny? It's funny he asked that because one of my dream projects actually is something that he threw to me that we've got to work on. And this actually might be so I don't really want to spill too much, but if I say that, I think he knows what I mean, what my dream project is. And I feel like
Okay.
right now is actually the right time.
All right. So wait, so you're not gonna say yet?
It's it it would just have to do with like really in depth, meaningful conversations around
Okay.
food, culture, and all the kind of things that we love and that drive us forward.
Okay, dope. And then Stacy had a question too around when you talked about you know, only working with a specific type of client and making sure that client's in line with you. So
Hmm.
what have you learned from turning down certain clients whenever?
It, it makes sense. I mean, a lot of times, you know, the dollar amount can can be tough to turn away from.
For sure.
But I mean, I think we see like right now is a perfect example that like things can switch and nothing's permanent. And the things that really have currency today don't have a ton to do with money, right? I mean, who knows what we're looking at in the next few months, and the value of, say, dollars and cents, that definition will change. For Eat Famous, I get hit up by slimming tea companies, like designer purses, not, and so you could tell like they're just looking at the number of followers I have and follow and hitting it off, sending off emails and stuff. But even certain restaurants, which I mean I would never like name or slander, but ones that I just don't feel are in a line, like especially if I wouldn't eat there, I'm not going to partner with you. If I'm not comfortable sending a friend or recommending it to somebody, then you know, you have to be able to think about what you're trying to build. Especially, I mean, as anybody who's an entrepreneur probably knows, like when you start out, the amounts that you're getting, an amount that seems like a lot one time is something that a lot of times down the road you're like, that doesn't even get a reaction from you. So
Right.
money never really is a driver for me.
And sorry, another question from Kiefer. How have you ever fired a client? If yes, how did you
Yeah,
do that?
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Just in terms of they were really kind of being pushy and not respecting the process. Because like Instagram on the content creation side is kind of like the Wild West. Like there's no blueprint for it. It's super new. So the creators who have a couple years in it, we're pretty much leading the charge and defining and figuring out rules as it goes. So a lot of times there's no standard and there's no blueprint. So you have to kind of figure things out for yourself. So that is a good, it's sometimes it's a tough thing because you don't have a reference, but it's a good thing because you set your own rules a lot of times. So I can always set the framework within which I'm comfortable working. So I mean, thankfully it hasn't happened a ton, but I definitely have had to. And I mean, just lead with honesty in terms of the actual doing it. Just let them know why, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's that's a big lesson in terms of justification is that
Hmm.
you just have to lead with honesty and be straightforward. You don't
It's
necessarily
true.
have to always over justify and have like this crazy reason of why you want to do
No.
or not do something.
Right.
Hannah asked, when did you realize this was going to be it for you?
Um, that yeah, that's a good question. Because I guess the definition of it never existed at the onset of this. Like I was just somebody who like was going to restaurants and like sharing food, and I was working on a separate business idea with my business partner that just kind of involved me having to learn Instagram. So eh, you know what it was for me? So I'm West Indian. West Indian parents are like massive on like you know, education and like once you've got I like Coca-Cola. I worked I work at Coca-Cola. So like my parents like love that. You know what I mean? Like their friends are like, "Oh, yeah, Ryan works at Coca-Cola." So as things were happening for me with this and I'm really close to the fam, so I share with them and like they would be proud, but like that would be like, "Oh, does that mean you're thinking about quitting your job?" Like they had like that trepidation towards that. And then I remember my mom seeing me on like I don't know breakfast television or something, and like
Mhm.
usually like she's would ask about Coke first, but then when she starts asking about Eat Famous and stuff first, that's when I feel like I was like, okay, yeah, dope, like it's respected. Like I know if I could win like my parents understanding that it's serious, I'm doing well, then I think that for me was the mark.
That's dope, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
really
yeah.
cool.
My mind.
Uh, another question from Lily. Any advice on reaching chefs, restaurants, taking photos for them, lifestyle photo shoot, and more of a professional brand shoot? So I guess just like connecting with um, food businesses, advice
Yeah.
on getting in touch with them and
uh,
co-creating with them.
Right. So I mean, right now we live in a great time because anybody is technically accessible. Like you could DM Drake or Rihanna. I mean, like understand who you're reaching out to. But like if you've got a chef or a restaurant or any brand partner who you feel like is a fit, like they're accessible. Um, People love to be seen as authorities. People love to answer questions. People love to talk about themselves. So if you know who you want to approach, I would say just shoot that shot. For advice on shoots and stuff like that, send me a message for sure because that's like very multi-layered. I was actually going to touch on it a little bit through here, but that whoever had asked the question could definitely DM me and I could kind of walk through them or send them some stuff in regards to that.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's it for the questions for now. So you can continue.
cool.
Um,
Cool. Sounds good. So yeah, sorry. So like I was saying, and this is probably some help with the photo. Before you share, ask yourself, do you love it? So these are photos of mine that I feel like if I had seen them somewhere else, they would get a reaction from me. So I'm okay with hitting that share button, right? And then going back to my second part of my two main things is genuine interaction. So collaboration over competition, that's a huge thing for me because I feel like obviously if you're going to be working with other people instead of trying to run them over, then you're interacting with them, you're growing, you're learning. I mean, that's pretty basic and truly engaging. So I mean, I get a lot of DMs. So sometimes I'm not the quickest with a response. However, like when I do respond, I'm actually like reading the question and I'm not just kind of flicking people away, and I'm not looking to see like, oh well, compared to my amount of followers, they only have a couple hundred, so they're not worth my time. Like that doesn't happen with me. So um, you know, I try to really be thoughtful with my answers if I can't be timely. You know, and that's kind of stuff is simple. Like quickly just look at the person's account, kind of see if there's any parody or anything that you can talk to them about where there's they can, you know, you can see if like there's some kind of connection. I guess that's also can be held for like if you're reaching out, like don't just send me a photo and be like, oh, share this or like this or follow for follow. Like that doesn't show that you have any interest in myself or what I'm doing. You're not trying to really get to know me. It just feels like you're looking for access to my follower base, right? So, you know, be genuine, even, and I mean, understand that like, you know, everybody lives a life outside of social. So just because someone hasn't gotten back to you right away or on the first try doesn't mean that, you know, that there's some cold dick or sorry, I don't know if I can say that, but like, you know, it just like if it really matters to you, you'll put some effort into it, just like anything. Keeping the social in social media, so like not digging so deep into an app that you forget how to exist like outside of it. Giving back to the communities that support you, whether as a creative, that means, you know, like we get a lot of stuff. People want to send us stuff all the time, gift cards, products, this and that. Sometimes like not for your own gain, but just like give it away. Pick a follower, pick someone that's always commenting on your stuff and just say, hey, I'm gonna send you this. You know what I mean? Like give back. It's a big thing. It's bigger than numbers as well too. So again, just heading back to, you know, I'm not choosing who I talk to or engage with based on their a blue check or, you know, how many followers they have. Just it's about approach and about vibe and stuff like that. You know, live and be your brand, because Stacey had kind of spoken to an aesthetic and a feel and a persona that people have when they're on social. And I mean, you know, we're all free to present ourselves in whatever manner we wish, but I feel like it's our duty that when people are coming in contact with us, you know, try to be that, whatever it is, like be yourself. And the easiest way to kind of be genuine outside of it is like to present your real self, your authentic self on the platform. Connect offline on well as well. Um, Corwin, who's here, does a decent, I would say above decent job on social, but like if you look in his phone, like it looks like someone just put the phone book in his phone. Like, and so you want to have real life connections, that people you can call, text, who will actually, well, I mean, we can't see each other now, but you know what I mean? So as great it is to have like a massive following, make sure that there's people that, you know, you have other types of connections with. And then I said, like, choose the right F word. So I see like the people who follow Eat Famous that and interact with me more as family than like followers or fans. So that's kind of my spiel on genuine interaction. So my two things: high quality content, genuine interaction. So like I said, just keeping the social and social media. So everybody here with me in these photos are like creators who, on the left side, all like life coaches, real estate agents, television hosts. So they're outside of my realm, but it's still like, you know, you don't just say, okay, I'm a foodie, I'm only talking to food people. And then on the right, other people who are kind of in my field, and you interact with them too. It's not like I'm trying to like not build with anybody else who's in my space because I want everything for myself. And then other quick things on just how did I kind of attain some success, building, maintaining relationships with like-minded individuals and subject matter experts. Like I'm never too shy to hit up people who I feel are doing anything better than me and asking them how. And it's not about like sucking up or trying to, you know, just be around powerful or quote unquote bigger people. But like, I mean, like people used to knock Kobe, RIP, for copying Mike, but like, why would you not study the best in the game if your goal is to be the best, right? So people are into what you're into, or you feel like they're great, like hit them up. Big on like although Eat Famous wasn't a plan, I still believe in like when something's successful and you're working in it, definitely like have goals and be able to check yourself on them. That's a big thing for myself, turning mistakes and failures into lessons and wins, and then competing against myself as opposed to competing against other people. So just trying to always level up and do a little better. Like these are pictures from when I first started my account. Like if anybody can even tell me what this stuff is, I I don't know what I'll do, but like that's like some kind of chili cheese fry on the left, oxtail fried chicken in the middle and some other kind of fries, right? I wasn't good, but I was willing to like work and learn. And then, you know, much better these days. But like the efforts to learn and like hone my skills even more. They don't stop. Like you never want to just see improvement and then forget about it. Like I'm constantly pushing myself to try to figure out how to move up a little bit. And then expanding, you know, your personal brand, right? Because every day, whatever field you're in, there's somebody else coming in there. So I could never just stick in the food lane for what I wanted to do and expect to grow. So I've had the opportunity to partner with like fashion lines like Frank and Oak, and then I don't consider myself a lifestyle blogger, but there's an article that was on Yahoo News about me, and I was seen as like a lifestyle blogger. Not that that was the goal, but you know, branching off and being able to you know, create a brand around yourself is also another way I felt I helped to grow the brand, and then create and enjoy unique experiences. So you know, you never want to be so caught up in the moment and like that, you know, you work really, really hard to do some cool stuff and then you forget about it. You know what I mean? So that's a shot from Breakfast Television. I don't know if anybody watches Insecure, but that's Issa Rae in the middle. And then I got a while back when Crazy Rich Asians was about to come out, I worked with Smokes Poutineery on a Crazy Rich poutine. So it had like Wagyu, lobster, gold flakes, caviar. But again, still like I got to like mess around, joke around with Aquafina, Ken Jong and stuff like that. It's like you don't want to forget why you're working so hard. And, you know,
Do
it,
you do you this question from Verinda, do you do it on your travels as well, or the focus is Toronto only? And I know
no,
that
travel as well. So probably the best part of the success of Eat Famous is I've gotten to travel a lot. It's taken me to Italy, to France, Spain, California, New York. I was supposed to go to Bali. That trip got flipped and it
crazy. And
crushed me.
you did Barbados, right? You did
Yeah,
Barbados.
yeah,
Is
that's
that
right. I
your
did
last
Food and
one?
Run in Barbados. My parents, shoot, my fans from there that should be first and foremost. So yeah, I've had the opportunity to work with the tourism boards of these cities and a couple others to go work and see the world. And nothing expands your worldview and makes you appreciate life like travel. And you know, that's been a huge blessing. So I was just talking about one of my last ones was turning losses and failures into wins and lessons. So a super quick case study. A couple of you guys, hopefully all of you, because they're incredible, should be familiar with a spot called Rudy. It's, in my opinion, best burgers place in the city. A couple years back, when they were starting out, they had reached out to me to help kind of create some content and a little bit of a buzz for them. This is when I would say like only like really serious food people and people in the neighborhood of their first restaurant knew about them. They were great, but I mean, Toronto could be a tough place to kind of build and grow. And they reached out and I created this super elaborate contest for them where someone would have to come into Rudy and buy a whole bunch of stuff and make this weird video. And it just like bombed. Like got, and they had paid me pretty handsomely for like an independent restaurant because margins at restaurants are super thin. Um, and I was just ashamed because I had this reputation in this site with like all this success, and it just like, and I was thinking, okay, just cower, bury my head. They paid, and like I would just kind of sulk, but I was like, no, like I've got to figure something out because first of all, I hate failing, and then secondly, um, I've always feel like there's an opportunity, even in like a perceived loss. So I was like, okay, this contest thing was BS, but what am I good at? And I was like, I'm good at getting eyeballs on accounts. So what I did to them or proposed to them was like, let me run your account for 3 months for free. You know, I mean, you know, when you buy something, there's no guarantees. I could have just taken that money, but I was like, you know, in good faith, let me try to do something for these guys. So I said, let me just run your account for 3 months. The goal of the contest was to get some eyeballs on you guys. I know another way to do it. Turns out that, you know, that's probably been about 3 years now that I've been running their account. They're 3 locations deep. coming up on 15,000 followers. They're consistently getting rated as the best burger in the city, and they refer to me as a part of the business and family. Right. So again, could have just like taken the money or cowered or let the shame I was feeling stop me, or even greed for saying, oh man, I'm going to do work for free for 3 months and it's not even guaranteed. But I was able to flip that into a massive win. And that kind of dials back to what I was talking about earlier with not getting caught up on money, because again, what I've been able to do with them resulted in way more than if I had kind of let that little bit of money initially, you know, sour the relationship, right? So quick little case study there. Create a name and a career for yourself. So I think a lot of times us entrepreneurs or people who work independently, we kind of dim the light on the fact that like we are functioning businesses. You know what I mean? Like, um, you, I don't know what it has to do with, but I feel that sometimes you forget that like you are just as valid in saying yes or no or having demands or standards as anybody with a massive corporate office. And that's how I try to approach it, like that, this is a company, this is a career, and that's definitely served me well, because you've got respect for yourself, you got respect for others, and your business operates just as any others do, and sometimes even better. So that's a big thing for me. So like your name and your career, treating it like that. And then the most important thing, uh, giving back. So I try to do as much as I can. I know we can all do more. Two things that I kind of work with that I'm passionate about is Rooks to Cooks. It's an organization that teaches like young people, not just kitchen skills, but life skills through, the love of food. So they asked me to come on board about a year ago as an ambassador. So it's really, really dope. You get to go watch the kids cook and talk to them about their passions and their dreams, and, try to teach them how to take photos. And it's a really, really cool thing. And then the Canadian Men's Health Foundation, I'm an ambassador for them as well. I created some content for their Don't Change Much program. And that was an approach that they took to let people know that, you can make very small changes to improve health and health, I should say. And it's a very important thing to me because it dials back to my most popular question. And it was, yeah, how do I not weigh 5,000 pounds? So really, really quickly, because we might be coming up on time, I had a really kind of bad relationship with food, and took a lot of hard work to kind of turn that around, have an appreciation for life and myself. And then as Eat Famous was starting to kind of grow and opportunities were going, and I found myself going to more and more indulgent foods and meals out and high calorie stuff, I was afraid of kind of going back to that dude on the left. So it made me, revisit what was important to me, because the irony is like I was really, really unhealthy prior to going out several times a night, or several times, I should say, a week, or actually some cases several times in a night, to eat these really, really, really great meals. And I think it was because I valued, not just like my own health, but like being around for my family and things like that. So yeah, I think just like if I could just leave everybody with one thing, it's like honoring whatever matters the most to you in life will help you kind of succeed.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you so much for that. Lots of amazing comments, a lot of questions, but yeah, lots of great tips, lots of insight in terms of giving back, creating a brand for yourself. There's just so much things that I think we could go through. So yeah, I definitely appreciate your time. Definitely everybody hit them up. Lots of insights, lots of cool stories and different ideas. So yeah, I definitely appreciate having you on. And yeah, definitely I want to continue the conversation with you for sure. I feel like we're just scratching the surface right now. But what we're gonna do now, because we do have the 15 ish minutes left, so I'll push it to 20. If you want to stop sharing your screen,
Oh,
right?
sorry.
So good. Or maybe I can.
Wait, oh,
There you go. I got you.
oh, okay,
Um,
cool.
yeah,
We're good?
cool. So thanks Ryan. I hope everybody enjoyed that. Now we're just gonna break off into a